Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. Jam-packed show for you today. Gianni is going to get us started with the Steam Report. Dave Mason from BetOnline is going to join us with the bookmakers perspective. Joe Raineri is going to break down the 49ers and Rams, the injured, riddled 49ers versus the Rams. And we're going to talk Miami and Florida State. I'm going to close things out with Thursday Night Football props. And then Dan's going to jump on. We got to talk about this game tonight. Do we play the Rams in Survivor? So we're going to bring on Dan at the end. And then don't forget, after this show, immediately after the show, 1 o'clock Eastern time, The Blitz. Brian Power, Ralph, hopefully Ross is feeling better. They're going to break down all of the college football, and that show is live, just like this one. You got any questions, put it in the chat. So let's get after it, guys. We got a big show. Hit the like button, please. Love to get to 100 likes before the end of the show. Let's bring in Gianni. Gianni, it's Thursday, so we got a game tonight where the line is absolutely ballooned up to 9. We got college football. We got UFC. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, let's start with the NFL. Ugly game. If you watch Bet on it, I look like a jerk, like the idiot in the room, because the line kept climbing. Here's what I thought. The bottom line is this. As a bettor that looks for value, like I don't bet for action. I don't bet because I'm going to watch the game. I bet because I think I'm getting the best of it. Games like this are easy for me because it's either I like San Francisco or I pass because I didn't get down at the look ahead at -3.5. I didn't get down at the opener of -4. I didn't get down at the first move at 4.5. I didn't get down at 5.5. Didn't get down at 6.5. Didn't get down at 7. So I didn't lay 7. At that point, I said it's dog or pass situation. And usually what happens is the betting market overreacts. Like the bookmakers adjust slightly, and then the betting market overreacts to injuries. And I thought that's what we were looking at. And we touched on it yesterday that what I'm looking at is either to look at the dog, or if it gets to 7.5, 8.5, it's a teaser ready on the favorite. And that's exactly what they did. They did the teaser protection. So if I ended up taking the San Francisco +7, which I didn't, fortunately, I would have looked like the fool today because I could have got 9. But where it sits, I think it's still the same exact situation where it's either you like San Francisco getting 9 points or you leave the game alone. You can't get to the window and bet the Rams because even if they win by 21, it's just not a good bet. You're buying at the absolute top. I talk about it all the time, but I see bettors continue to do this, so I'll continue to remind them that there's just not a winning formula. You can't continue to be last to the window and think you're going to beat the betting market, especially the NFL betting market, which we know the lines are so tight. Every half point matters. So for me, I lean dog. I haven't bet the dog. I'm probably not going to get to the window with the dog. If I am able to find any of my credit shops that have 8.5, I will tease down the Rams to -2.5. I think that the teaser makes a ton of sense, especially with the total being steamed under. But I would be careful on the under because I'm seeing the public betting the under blindly as well, thinking San Francisco is not going to be able to score any points. The bottom line is once the adjustment's made, the value's gone. Like at under 47, it made sense. Maybe at under 46, it made sense. But now it's down to 44. So all those injuries have already been factored into that betting line. Having that information becomes meaningless. And I would actually look, if this continues to drop, to possibly go over at that point. Because, again, even though you don't expect a ton of offense, turnovers, special teams, like there's a lot of way to score points without needing a high-profile offense, especially in the NFL, and especially a total below 50. So for me, I lean San Francisco and over, but unless I get any confirmation, especially on the total, because I don't see it on the side, I probably will sit this one out and move into the Sunday action because football's been good to us, and I'll stay selective.
It's a great game for props. I'll be going over some props a bit later. Even it's a great game for props. There's a lot of good props out there. The books are struggling with what numbers to put on some of these players, so we got some good looks. I'll go over a few at the end. Let's move to Sunday. What are you seeing on some of these NFL games?
All right, a lot of the look aheads got hit, but there hasn't been much follow through. Hasn't been much steam, and that tends to happen as the season progresses because the lines get tighter. meaning not that the margin of error is a lot greater, because it's always around that 10 points that they're off from the point spread on average. But most of the moves are based on injuries and public knocking lines out of whack, which doesn't happen till later in the week. But some of the moves that we have seen already start off with the Miami Dolphins. Not surprising. There's a little recency bias there. Everybody just saw them on Monday night. Look good, get the job done against the Jets. And again, it's Carolina. No one's worried about slight road favorite with Miami. They're one-sided. Denver plus 4.5. Denver actually got steamed before actually the game even kicked off, the Monday night game for Denver. So they had already steamed Denver before their game with Cincinnati. They hit the look ahead at plus 4.5, hit the opener at plus 4. That's why we're looking at 3.5 right now with Philadelphia. 472 New Orleans at a pick'em and -1, fading the New York Giants and their new stud quarterback. Detroit 479. Detroit, they laid the 10 just like they did last week. They laid 9.5 last week. Detroit got the money. They came right back again. It looks public, but they're betting Detroit and they're betting the over as well at 49. They took Tennessee all the way down to +8. They laid the key 3 with Seattle, and finally New England and Buffalo under 50. So we do have some action. It's still only Thursday, but definitely some action in the NFL.
I guess I don't understand why money would be coming in on Cleveland, because they changed quarterbacks.
You love the Browns.
No, I don't like either team, but I'm just wondering who's betting enough to move the line on an overseas game with a quarterback change. It just kind of makes a little bit of sense. And I listen, I'm the prop guy. I don't mess with spreads, but boy, 10 doesn't seem like enough for Cincinnati. What's that Cincinnati team shown? Any fight, any competency? I don't know. I'll let the people smarter than me at spreads do that one.
No, dude, Cincinnati's been outscored 76-13 in the last 2 weeks, bro.
It's really bad. It's really. I actually liked Browning last year. We cashed some props on him to go over his passing total. Boy, has he regressed. He has just looked awful.
Yeah,
let's move to Yeah, let's look to college football. Anything of note that we need to pay attention to, and then I want to get your thoughts on MLB.
Yeah, I'm into Friday and quickly Saturday, because I do have 2 4% up tonight. I had a strong lean on tonight's game on the side and the total. One of the groups I work with came in on the side. 2 of them came in on the total. So I released the package that's up at WagerTalk for you guys. It's a side and total on the Sam Houston, New Mexico State game. Looking at tomorrow, we did see some action come in on Colorado State at 6.5. But now I'm starting to see the 6.5 pop up again, because San Diego State's going to be a heavy public side. The recreational bettors, they don't mind teasing college football, even though it's a negative EV situation. They'll still do it, and they're going to tease San Diego State down to pick them. That's for sure. So the books are trying to limit their risk, and they're moving that 6 to 6.5. But when they do, it's kind of getting picked off. So it lets them know that there is going to be some Colorado State sharp action out there at near a touchdown. Saturday action, 320 Old Dominion -17, 18 and 18.5. 316 Appalachian State from +2.5 to -1. So they took them as a dog and laid the pick 'em as well. 321 Kentucky +21. 325 Kansas -4, 4.5 and 5. 352 Georgia State +20. That's opposite public money. I keep seeing the opposite on recreational bettors for whatever reason. 360 Nebraska -11. 396 A&M -13. And finally, a total that we bet yesterday, UNLV Wyoming under 51.5. So not a lot of moves early in the week in college football, but today is Thursday, and that means the totals start coming in. I talked about it on Bet On It, that if you start looking at the odds logic screen today at about 9 a.m. our time, which is now, over the next couple hours, even into the evening, you'll start seeing a lot of the totals move. For whatever reason, Thursday's when they fire on legit college football total. So pay attention to line moves on Thursdays.
All right, Justin says in the chat, yeah, 10 is a lot in the NFL. All right, Justin, moment of truth. You going to put your hard-earned money on Jake Browning? The Cincinnati Bengals. That's the question. So let's move to MLB. We got 3 games today. I got to tell you, Yanni, I'm so proud of Tokyo.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I was I have to say, I'm so proud of Tokyo Brandon. He pegged this Reds team total over 2.5 in both of the games. He was like, this Dodgers bullpen's complete trash. Take the team total on the Dodgers opponent. And they easily hit it in both games. I'm so proud of him, and I'm so jealous I didn't come up with that bet on my own. But keep an eye on that moving forward. The team total over on the Dodgers opponent with that bullpen. So, all right.
Makes sense.
Floor is yours.
You'll probably get good value, especially against their ace, like their 1 and 2s. Stuff.
That was his point. It's like, you get an ace out there, and then the bullpen comes in and gives up 2 runs. So
they're not letting nobody. Well, in playoffs, they're letting them go a little bit longer. You saw the Boston do that, but they're pulling these guys. They're not letting them go 8 innings or anything like that. We're in uncharted territory for the new wild card setup, because the trend has been the team that wins game 1 wins the series. We don't go to a game 3. In fact, 16 of the last 20, I think that's how it ended. Like the team that won game 1 ended up winning game 2. That was it. Now we have 3 game 3s. Obviously, the home team has the advantage, even though, home field advantage isn't as big in Major League Baseball. And when it comes to the playoffs, you definitely have to factor that in. It's definitely warranted. So I'm not surprised to see every home team open as the favorite. But again, San Diego and the Cubs coming into that series, you had already seen love for San Diego. So I'm not surprised to see that line drop. So far, what we're seeing, I haven't seen sharp action get into the window and fire yet. I'm not surprised, because with the playoffs, it's been happening later. Even like an hour, 90 minutes before game time, a lot coming off of after the public unloads. Because again, during baseball, the recreational bettors, even though sports betting's blown up, it's still sharps versus the books in a lot of matchups in Major League Baseball. When the playoffs come, that's just not the case, and they will influence a lot of these lines, and that's why I pay attention to some of the later line moves. But the signs that are being bet the most right now, Cleveland, I'm seeing like 7, 8 out of every 10 bets come in on Cleveland, and the Yankees. They're taking the Yankees tonight also over Boston. Tough series. They like both of those favorites. And again, not surprising.
All right, Yanni, it's a gambling show. We just have made a bet live in the chat.
All right.
All right. Justin's putting his money where his mouth is. So am I. If Cincy covers, Justin gets a 3-day package on me. If Detroit covers, Justin gets a 3-day package. That package will start next Friday. That way you get all UFC, NFL, and everything. That's a deal, Justin. Man. This is great. This is awesome. So let's see. Anything else of note, Gianni? Anything else you want to talk about?
I got a 5% coming in the UFC. I was at Apex the last 2 days. I was there Tuesday. I was there Wednesday. All the fighters were there, man. That's what's cool when they're there for the press conferences, and you're in there because they're in the makeup room too. So you're talking, and they all want to know the gambling guy's opinion. Like, who do you like? Yeah. What do you like? What's the line? Da da da. And even on other sports, like they ask about football and stuff like that. So while they're doing that, I'm prying for information as well, because they just see things I don't. You know what I mean? And just how certain fighters match up. And it's fine because a lot of times they don't want to say anything negative about another fighter. So they don't want to even give an opinion, but they share enough that you know what they're saying, So, yeah, I got a little confirmation yesterday, and I really like a fight on this top UFC 320 card. And where I'm at right now, if you're in Vegas, that's where they're staying. They're at Trump. It's the UFC. I ran into half the production crew when I went down for my coffee this morning.
All right. Well, let's talk UFC. We got a message that Dave Mason is sick today. Apparently he got sick in his cubicle in Aruba. All right, so let's go over some UFC leans for this weekend. Adam, so UFC guys, A lot of big favorites. Gianni, you were saying this is like a lot of guys are minus 250, minus 300, and like, yeah, they should win, but boy, they're making you pay a pretty penny. What are some fights you got your eyes on? I'll go through some of them as well. Pull up the line.
Yeah, that's where I feel like the Basharats, the Chasons, like where I think like Yana Santos, I think at plus 170, she offers value. I don't think Chason should be a 2-1 favorite over anybody really at women's bantamweight. But real quick, let's talk main event. I think Ankalaev gets it done once again. Defending champ, we know the trend with that. Rematch, we know the trend with that. And Pereira hasn't gotten any younger since last year. I think Ankalaev has the answer. I like the Ankalaev side in the co-main event. I'm for whatever reason, man, I just think Sandhagen's live. I'm on an island by myself. I've been a Merab backer for a long time. I just think at this point, I'm looking for a opportunity to fade him. I'm probably picked the wrong spot, at least what the line movement looks like, but I got to stick to my guns. I like the Sandhagen side. Another one real quickly, Emmett and Zalal. I'm seeing a lot of love for Emmett. I get it. He's got power, so he's always live, but he's now lost 3 of his last 4 fights, and they've been to the toughest guys. It was to Murphy, to Poirier, Rodriguez, but those fights take a lot out of you when you go 5 rounds with guys like that. And he's now 40 years old. I think this is a nice showcase fight for Zalal. Again, he's a minus 400. He should win. But I say that to caution bettors because I see a lot of live dog talk about the Emmett side. Prochazka and Roundtree, I've always been wrong on Prochazka. I always say he's overvalued, and he always proves me wrong and slaps me in my face. For doubting him. So for me, it's Prochazka or pass probably for the rest of my life. And Piper, I like Piper over Abus. Again, I see the argument. Abus has got the wrestling, and Piper hasn't really been tested there, but he's going to be so hard to control, even if Abus takes him down. And that power is the equalizer. We've seen Abus get rocked again. So I'm sorry to go long, but I just went through the whole main card, I think.
I want to touch on this Josh Emmett Zalal. I'm just waiting. I'm going to take Zalal by decision. Here's why.
That's what I was going to ask you. I wanted to ask you a prop because I want to bet Zalal. I do.
Zalal by decision all day. Zalal by decision all day. All day. Here's why. I am constantly told that Josh Emmett has this insane power, okay? He has 1 knockout in his last 7 fights.
Thank you.
Give me a break. And it was against a grappler. But it was so violent that he damaged Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell has to have CTE after that. Yeah. He's not been the same. But 1 knockout in the last 7 fights does not mean you're this insane knockout guy. He's slowed down. He's 40. My only caution is that you know who he's training with? TJ Dillashaw.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
the guy that's
good for the over, if anything.
And Zalal is fast. I think he does exactly what he did to Cater last week. Like stick and move, use his speed, get the wrestling, get the grappling.
As low as minus 160 and as high as minus 200. So
so I like that one. I like Roundtree. I like Roundtree as a dog. You and I will go head to head. I'm all aboard the Merab train.
I hope Prochazka loses. To be honest with you, I want you to be right on Roundtree. That line does look a little suspect to me. I thought because Roundtree's stock went down. His stock went up when he lost to Pereira, and then in his win, it actually went down. So I agree with you there. And yeah, listen, man. Fading Merab, no one's gotten rich doing that. So
True.
It's not going to be hard for you to argue the Merab side. You know what I mean? I get it. I completely get it.
You got a Chris Gutierrez fight. That means it's an over. I'm with you on Santos as a live dog. Patchy Mix, I would stay away from. I see a lot of love for Patchy. This guy he's fighting is coming over.
You know what stuck out to me the most?
What?
Real thin calves. Like from the calf to the ankle, because he was just standing next to me waiting for like they valeted, whatever. And like he looked so thin there. I'm like, I'd be chopping those calf kicks all day.
Yeah, this guy's fighting is a wild card. Wicklaws. Wicklaws has fought the same guy 5 times in his career. It's just a really, really strange one.
He's more grappler, right?
He can do a little everything. Striking, grappler. You have Mr. Paige Van Zant fighting.
I saw him and Paige at the restaurant.
And did you really? Okay.
Yeah, Ford and Paige are here staying at Trump too.
Nice. And then Brogan Walker is one of the worst fighters I've ever seen in the UFC. You can
Mikey,
take Veronica.
You're probably right. Marab by decision's probably the play, sir.
Yeah. I would say Veronica Hardy fight over 2.5 rounds is minus 410. Be careful with that. Brogan Walker's so bad. She's so bad on the ground, and Veronica Hardy has got a brilliant coach, Dan Hardy.
Have your husband that game plan.
He's going to show her how to take Brogan Walker down. Don't be surprised if Hardy wins and blows everybody's parlays with that with the over. So it's good stuff. You're going to have to lay juice or get creative with some of these UFC fights. So do you do PFL, Gianni?
Yeah, on occasion, like when I have time, because I handicap that.
Okay.
You know, I mean, like if any of my originators, the two that I work with, have a play on it, I use it. I usually piggyback it because they're selective there, and if they have something historically, it's done well. But I like when I have time to handicap the card. You know, it's just when it's so many with football and everything. Sometimes I just don't, so I'll pass. So I don't, force anything.
We will have PFL plays for clients that are going to be a part of the UFC package. The big matchup is Usman Nurmagomedov against Paul Hughes. That line is ridiculous. Minus 285 is laughable. Paul Hughes is a live dog. He almost beat him last time. Callum Loughran is fighting. He's making his PFL debut. You got Sergio Pettis, who's probably going to get beat. We like Archie Colgan. And then you got a plus 320 underdog that we like. Slim I think it's pronounced Trabizzi, is a really good wrestler. There's no world he should be plus.
For PFL, right?
Yeah, this is PFL. All right, Eric, we did MLB. We did plenty of MLB.
Tessie Betts, real quick. I wish you the best of luck, my brother. I wish you luck. That's a good bet you have in your pocket. I got the Phils in my pocket. I'm just going to keep it real with you. I bet the Phillies earlier in the season at 10-1. I didn't give it to subscribers because I had already given them Seattle and another future. But now when the playoffs started, I did give them the Phillies at 5-1. I have the Phils. I have a future on the Phils, and I have a future on Seattle. Those are the teams I'm pulling for in the playoffs. So I'm biased towards both because of those big tickets. But I wish you luck, Tessie. It'll be a tough series, Dodgers and Phils. I'll tell you that.
Last, before we let you go, Gianni, anything in WNBA? I was so bummed. By the way, what a brutal beat.
The Aces is my $5 Tuesday 4% best bet at -8.
I was just getting ready to say brutal beat for Fever, but what a cash by you. Holy cow. So we got Phoenix and Vegas -3. I see a little bit of mony on Vegas. Marco's actually going to be at that game.
The total's climbing, but I like the under. I like if I have to bet this, I'm telling you, if I have to bet this, I would be on Phoenix and under. I'm in Vegas. It's tough to win here. This line to me is just, it tells me I like Phoenix, man. I like Phoenix. Ugh.
All right. Let's do it. Gianni, one more time. What do you have up for clients?
All right. I got a 2-pack tonight, side and total in the college football primetime game. Number 1 in college football. We won in week 0, 1 in week 1, 1 in week 2, 1 in week 3, 1 in week 4. We're going to win every single week. We turn the profit, bro, every single week. And the same thing, NFL, regular season. Didn't do good in preseason, but number 1 in regular season. I have an NFL package for Sunday. I got the college football for Saturday. No need to fire 5% because the 4% have been so strong. But I do have a 5% in the UFC. That package will be up probably within the next 60 minutes. And baseball as well, as soon as I confirm. So this is a good time to jump on for a longer-term package because we're just so much going on. We're betting all those markets and winning as well. So I'll take it.
Gianni the Greek, thank you so much for staying on for extended period of time. Good luck on all your bets. We'll see everyone. We'll see him tomorrow for Football Friday. Again, guys, Football Fridays have been an absolutely just a smash hit. Like the numbers are through the roof on Football Fridays. Teddy comes on, and we do Sell Me. He breaks down games. We've got Marco. We've got Gianni. It is a massive, massive show, so make sure you're here on a Football Friday tomorrow. Ethan was asking about McLaren double podium. McLaren cannot get out of their own way. I'm not going to be betting on McLaren. And yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen at the Roval in Charlotte. The only problem is it's the playoffs. He's out of it. So he might pull out of the way and just let the guys in the playoffs fight for it. So can't say I'm that excited to bet on Van Gisbergen. That being said, he's probably going to win by 5 seconds. So we do have a UFC 5% best bet that is up. We're hitting 60% of our 5% plays this year. Good number. I'd like that to be about 65% by the end of the year. So we got a few months to increase that number. But I absolutely love a few plays on this UFC card. So we got a 5% play. You can use the promo code. You guys are going to love this promo code. It's a theme of the week. BANG10. BANG 10 gets you $10 off this 5% UFC best bet. Included, we're going to put in PFL bet of the week as well as any other plays that we have in UFC. So use a promo code BANG10. It's time to bang with Andy Lang, as the saying goes. So take advantage of that. Loving this 5% best bet. I have already played this across multiple books with my own money, and I think you guys should too. All right, Dan, let's do all around the world. Chris Big Dog Allen, Dan asked me to do plays here. Big Dog in the house asked me to do some props for tonight's game. I mentioned to Gianni, I think this is a fantastic prop betting card. We're gonna get some disagreement. I already see you, SF9er, in the chat. You disagree with the second one. Kyle Juszczyk over 9.5 receiving yards. This line is incredibly too low. You got Jennings that's out, Pearsall is out, and all these injuries means guys like Demarcus Robinson is going to have to catch passes, Christian McCaffrey is going to have to catch passes, and Kyle Juszczyk is going to have to catch passes. Last week with all these injuries, this man had 3 catches for 32 yards. He can catch. He's got good hands. They trust him. They will run multiple plays for him. So I love this 9.5 yards. He can get this with 1 catch. And just also let you know how much I like this. I think the books are a little confused on it because they have his receptions at 1.5. If he goes over 1.5, he's going to get over 9.5 receiving. So I like Matthew Stafford to not throw an interception. I know I saw in the chat there was some people saying we'd like him to throw an interception. I like him not to throw an interception. The 49ers don't have an interception this year, and he didn't throw an interception in either game against San Francisco last year. If the Rams get up, he's not going to throw a whole lot. It could be a nice Blake Corum and Kyron Williams game. So I'm looking at Stafford to not throw an interception. And let's do a same-game parlay. This one pays about plus 480. Blake Corum's usage was very interesting last week, so I'm going to take him to get 25-plus rushing yards. The 49ers gave up 4.7 yards per carry last week, and Corum got 9 carries. Kyron Williams got 13. Short week. I think this is when they mix in multiple running backs because you don't want your running backs to be playing on Sunday and then Thursday with full workload. So I expect both guys to get plenty of carries. I think this number is really, really good value. So I'll take Corum to get 25-plus rushing yards. I'll take Stafford to throw 2+ touchdown passes. He's been throwing the ball in the end zone a lot, 7 in his last 3 games. I think the Rams are able to move the ball. And then we'll take Demarcus Robinson, 40+ receiving yards. Again, no Pearsall, no Jennings. So there's going to be guys that come out of nowhere to get catches. Demarcus Robinson, he's a sneaky ad in your fantasy leagues. So that's your same game parlay. Blake Corum, 25+ rushing. Stafford to throw 2 touchdown passes, and Demarcus Robinson, 40+ receiving yards. All right, Dan, let's talk a little Survivor. Normally we save the Survivor talk for tomorrow, but we got an interesting game tonight.
We have a decision to make here. We have a decision to make here, Andy.
Yeah. So it's 49ers riddled with injuries. It's a lot going on. And so you were saying, do we take the Rams tonight? Make the case for taking the Rams.
Yeah, one thing real quick, Andy, when you were talking props there too, my ears kind of perked up because the thing is with this 49ers team, like someone is going to catch the ball. They're not just going to hand it off to – they're going to hand it off to Christian McCaffrey probably 20 times, but they're also going to have to put the ball in the air. So one thing that I think I'm toying with, I got to shop around on the number and see if I find something I like a little bit more. But Jake Tonjes, the backup tight end here for the San Francisco 49ers,
Yep.
He's filled in nicely in George Kittle's stead. It's something that Kyle Shanahan frequently uses in his offense. Now they're kind of pricing you out because they got his receptions on DK sitting at 2.5, but minus 162 to the over. That's a fine parlay piece, but we're not laying minus 162 on a bet. The receiving yards, again, I'd like to shop around because they're hanging it at 29.5. I lean that, but he's only averaging just over 31 yards per game. And that's when they also had other receivers. So I think anywhere in that like 26 to 28 range, good bet for Jake Tonjes. You're eyeing a couple different guys on the other side. I think, if the Rams do get up, they're 9-point favorites. They'll have to pass the ball. Jake Tonjes is going to be definitely involved in that. So before we talk Survivor, little prop there for you, Andy. I knew I could tickle your fancy there with a little backup tight end talk, baby.
Don't you threaten me with a good time taking it over on a backup tight end on Thursday Night Football. These are the ones.
Because he scored some touchdowns, the secret's kind of out. You know what I mean? But I think if you shop around on maybe like a Caesars or something like that, you should find some better prices than what DraftKings kind of hanging currently.
These are the props that hit. These are the ones that the books can't get the numbers right on. Like, they're going to be big numbers on Justin Jefferson and Bijan Robinson. But, yeah, Tonjes, some of these other guys.
This one podcast I listen to, they call him Tonjes McBasketball, and I don't know why, but it cracks me up every time. So Tonjes McBasketball overs. Andy, any thoughts?
Yes.
Devontae Adams, anytime touchdown? I mean,
yeah, I'm pulling up his game log right now. He has a touchdown catch in each of his first 3 games, and what's interesting is Puka's only got one. Yeah, Puka's only got one touchdown pass. So it's like Puka moves the chains, and then they get in and throw it to Devontae. So I can't argue with it. My biggest problem I have with these touchdown props is the numbers are laughable. Like trying to pick a touchdown prop at 105 is ridiculous. Like they had the defensive prop at like plus 450. But like in one of these, it was like, do you know how hard it is to predict a defensive touchdown? You're only going to give me plus 450 on it. So there's a few touchdown props that I like, but the thing with touchdown props is you have to play them every week, like what we do with Jalen Hurts. You play them every week, and you hope that you're 12-5 at the end of the year, 11-6. So if you're going to play Devontae Adams this week, you just play him every single week on the streaks and hope to be up at the end.
How about the prop that keeps on giving, Andy, that's disgusting to sweat the entire game on will Matt Stafford move forward at all? Matt Stafford every week, I think he's gone like -3, -4, some kneel downs. I think he's gone over a half yard once this year. So if you want to sweat out a little, minus 137 on Matt Stafford to go under a yard, that's another gross prop there for you. That could be a fun one. We could just make a disgusting same game parlay with plays like that, like Matt Stafford under rush yards. You know what I mean? Devontae Adams to not score a touchdown, or Puka Nacua to not score a touchdown.
Gross,
disgusting like that. Yeah,
I'll give you a plus 140 prop that's just sitting out there and nobody's paying attention to. Justin Fields doesn't throw a lot of touchdown passes, but I get plus 140 for him to throw over 1.5 touchdown passes against the Cowboys. Have you seen that defense?
Everybody throws it. Andy, you could throw a touchdown against the Cowboys.
I'm just saying, Jordan Love to throw over 1.5 was a client play last week, and that could not have been easier. So I'm just taking quarterbacks against the Cowboys. Any quarterback.
That's a nice little look ahead.
any quarterback against that Cowboys defense, it just has to be. They can't get pressure on the quarterback, and they can't guard anybody in the secondary. Like it's just a recipe for overs on that one. So,
all right, Andy. So what I like the look ahead there. Last thing I'll say props, and then we'll talk. Is this a potential survivor play? I saw some people in the chat saying they already switched from Colts to the Rams. I might throw a little ice water on that. But I mentioned Jake Tonjes. How about a plus 425 anytime touchdown score? Little sprinkle, little half unit play. Jake Tonjes, if I like him to be involved, I like him to be involved towards the goal line. It can't all be Christian McCaffrey. Plus 425. Lock it in. I'm betting it myself. Jake Tonjes McBasketball to score.
We got to figure out where the McBasketballs come from.
I have no clue. I have no clue where it came from, but it gets me every time. All right, Andy. So as far as this game is concerned, the whole reason that I'm on here, number one, because all of our guests bailed on us, but number two, because before the show, I logged in and I go, Andy, do we just go Rams for Survivor tonight? Because I'll tell you what, man, we talked about how like week 3 could potentially be a wonky week. Week 2 is usually overreaction week where it gets wonky. This board is a landmine of games. You know what I mean? Like it's a really great betting ATS board, but as far as calling your shot, picking your winner, it's a tough week to do so. And, I'm looking at some of the bigger favorites. So what we got, the Indianapolis Colts against the Las Vegas Raiders. That one could be worth a look. Arizona against Tennessee.
That's your number one on BetOnline right now. It's 30% of submissions are on the Cardinals.
I think Arizona probably wins that game by a field goal. I don't think they cover. So when I don't think a team covers a big spread, it makes me a little bit worried to be laying them, in Survivor. You got Detroit, they're road favorites. That's the other one that I'm toying. Like there is infinite amount of universes, Andy, and I don't know if there's one of those universes where Detroit loses to Cincinnati. Like you know what I mean?
I know.
Like Cincinnati,
they're bad.
But not only are they bad, Andy, the effort is not there. And Jake Browning, I kind of feel for him because the offensive line is what's absolutely killing him. Like he was capable the year he came in because the offensive line was holding him down. This year, he's just running for his life. And then you got Buffalo against New England. That's an 8.5-point favorite. So I toyed, Andy, with just saying, we did it the other week when I was like, I'm just doing Buffalo. Let me lock it in. Let me just move on with my life. On a Thursday night football. For this one, though, here's something that gives me a little bit of pause. Yes, the line has completely moved. What was it? It was like 4, then it goes up to 5.5, 6.5.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking at the Rams -9. Shanahan has absolutely dominated McVay. And this feels like one of those spots where if Shanahan really is just better than McVay, that's not a fluke. This is one of those spots where it's rally the troops in some way, somehow they pull something out of their ass. So here, how about the fact that Kyle Shanahan, it would be incredible if Mike Shanahan rolled in there. But Shanahan, 10-5 straight up, 9-6 against the number when he's looking to have revenge. They lost both games last year. Really rough year for them. 9-1 straight up, 8-2 when his Niners currently have a winning record. Like this is a really good Shanahan spot. And that's not just ATS numbers. We're talking about 9-1 straight up trends and 10-5 straight up trends. So I toyed with it with you, Andy, to start the show. I wouldn't be shocked if this is one of those weird Thursday night football games. I'm not betting San Francisco on the money line, but I think I would be kicking myself if I used a Thursday night football game, a division game that the line got out of hand, and I lose on a game that I know Shanahan has a leg up on McVay. Good luck to those who are switching picks to the Rams.
You're not doing it
on Friday. We decide what we're picking. I can't do it, Andy.
Oh wow! All right, tease.
I know.
It
was as the show was going on and you and Gianni were kicking stuff around. I was like, let me look up, because I was like, I think I remember like Shanahan kind of beats up McVay a little bit. And then I started pulling the numbers. Those two trends that I got was from our friend Mark Lawrence. That does give me pause. Like that's a big enough sample size, Andy, that where there's fire, there's smoke. And yeah, there's no troops there, but there was also no troops the other week where I loved San Francisco with Mac Jones as the quarterback. When the line moved against them, they win that game outright. So, Good luck to those who are doing it. I can't on Thursday Night Football. I'm just going with Tonjes McBasketball touchdown.
Lord King Guru says, Dan, you're overthinking it. Just trends don't matter when man.
I agree. But
dissension in the chat.
For the most part, I 1,000% agree with Lord King Guru. And with a name like that, how could you not agree? He's not only
Lord
a lord,
King
he's not
Guru.
only a king, he is also a guru. So I do agree with you. And I'm not I put all my eggs in the trends basket. I think people fall into that way too much. But when I look at some of these trends, I'm not looking at who's good on grass on Wednesday nights when it's raining. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at things like this where it's clear domination from one coach over another. And you can say, oh, they're decimated. There's still NFL players that are on this roster. Like, I think that's one thing where maybe we turn a blind eye and put too much stock into injuries. These injuries are spread out all over. There's maybe a cluster injury here and there. The cluster injury would be in the in the wide receiver core for this San Francisco 49ers team, but they're not a let's air it out and pass first offense anyways. And they do have a capable back who can get things in the flat and move it down. So Lord King Guru, I typically would agree with you in that sense. Maybe I am overthinking it, but week 5 of Survivor, I'm still alive. This is when you do maybe do a little over analysis because there's other games on the board that I still like. Why force myself into it? If this is week 16 and I only have Rams, oh my God, we did amazing, right? But I got the Colts. I got the Lions. I got, the Buffalo Bills. I mean, I use them, but there's some other spots that you can pick. So that's the thought for me. And I don't know. We'll circle back, Andy. Maybe there is an outright winner for the 49ers. And then I will bow to the Lord King Guru and say, told you so, my good sir.
I got a sneaky, disgusting one, and that's the Houston Texans. I know they're on the road.
I was thinking too.
Baltimore.
That's
no Lamar, no defense. This is a brutal week. That Texans defense is good, and their offense is good enough to score on that decimated defense of Baltimore. I see 0 entries in the BetOnline contest for Houston. That's stunning.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's the road. You had a team who has now flipped complete favorites. It's a giant line move there. But that's something, a contest pick for me is going to be Houston, even if I have to lay the 2, simply because I think there's more going on than just the injuries for Baltimore. I think a lot of people aren't discussing that whole blow up that happened on the sidelines between Lamar, between Harbaugh, and then, Lamar ends up sitting out. Clearly the injury was, a little smoke where there's fire there. But I'm with you. I don't know if I could do it in Survivor because I already got yelled at by Kelly. I was like, I kind of want to take New Orleans in Survivor. I love New Orleans this week to beat the Giants. I think they get their first win. New Orleans isn't going to go winless, folks. They're just not. They're not going 0-17. They're going to win one game. I think the one game is people are really overrating how good Jackson Dart looked because it was just the new shiny toy. The passing yards weren't that great. The reads weren't that great. He made really good decisions running when he had to, but you were doing that at home. Now you're going on the road to a very hostile place. Yeah, do I love Spencer Rattler? No, I think he's disgusting, but I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, and you have the kind of internal thing where you lose your best player in Malik Neighbors too. Oh, we have other guys who can step up. We have Cam Scatabo. They're still all rookies that are going to one of the hardest places in the NFL to play. I don't care who's on the other side. It's a screamer New Orleans spot. So we'll decide what our pick will be.
A screamer.
Yeah.
We're just would like to point out we're to the part of the NFL season where people are spending a lot of their fab free agency budget on Darius Slayton and DeMarcus Washington, or DeMarcus Robinson. That's where we are right now in NFL. So, all right, guys. Dan, thank you so much. You threw me for a loop. I thought you were coming on and taking the Rams, but
I thought so too. And then I saw those numbers, and then I was like, wait, it's Thursday Night Football, and weird shit happens in Thursday Night Football. So that was that.
All right. Special thanks to the guest on today's show.
Dave Mason's sick. Joe's MIA. So you're stuck with Andy and Dan. So you can bang
Special thanks to Today was banging with Lang in here. So shout out to all of our guests today. And shout out to chat. You guys were the real MVP today. You guys crushed it. Thank you so much. And again, Football Friday is tomorrow, the most important episode of the show that we do every single week. We're going to get you ready for Saturday and Sunday. Again, don't forget to use the promo code BANG10. That's BANG10. Get you $10 off my 5% UFC best bet. And that best bet is going to come with more UFC best bets and any PFL bets that we have. There's going to be multiple bets, and our week 5 NFL props pack just went up. That includes every single NFL prop that we have for Sunday and Monday, coming off of a 3-0 stretch in the primetime games. Let's get this streak going good. All right, thanks everyone for joining us. Good luck on all your bets tonight. Good luck if you're in play on the Rams in Survivor. We're going to do it again tomorrow. Good luck. Take care.